Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, as you can see, we're doing a tier list. Something I've been trying to figure out how I want to do. Change a little bit of the categories as you see. Basically, change it to 2024 rise, 2024 on the way, I guess, on the way up, fall, crash, retire. Uh, Pretty self-explanatory. It's UFC 2024 fighters when we're ranking them. I don't think it's all of them. I think it's 119, but I think it should be a good video. If you want to see more tier lists, please let me know which ones you want me to do of 2024. If you want me to rank like heavyweights, lightweights, whatever it may be, let me know. If you guys want to see another rise and fall, put the fighter's name down below. We'll talk about him. Of course, he had to have a good rise. It could be a couple fights where he looked, oh, this guy looks good, and then he just kind of came back down. So either way, let's jump right into it. So first, Israel Adesanya. Let's make sure. Okay, we should be good. Yeah, we should be good. Okay, so this one's tough. I think he's on fall because, gosh, I'm actually. I'm gonna put him in retire. Even though I do think he'll have a good showing against Imavov, he's 35. He'll be 36. Do I think he can compete? 100%. This isn't. There's definitely going to be some categories, some people that are probably put in this list that are well past their prime. This isn't that for Izzy. This is Izzy's getting older. We already know he doesn't have much more. He has said he wants to fight Hamza, which I think is interesting. Um, he's 35. He'll be 36 in a weight class where, yes, we've seen some people be successful at older age. I don't think that's going to be Izzy. I don't think Izzy's going to stay when he's 38. Yeah. Honestly, if he loses devastatingly to Imavov, he could retire right then and there. So, retire. So, yeah. Yeah. So, next we have Albazi. Albazi's on fall. He had a terrible showing against Moreno. But 2024, as a prediction for Amir Albazi, definitely a fall. Next, you have Urain Aldana. Definitely has to be fall. She had a great showing against Carol Rosa, which I actually thought Rosa won that. She did not look very good in the fight where they stopped the fight for a cut or whatever. But Urain Aldana she's up and down. Let's be honest. The reason why she got a title shot is because there's nobody else. So Urain Aldana fall. So next is Jose Aldo. Again, Jose Aldo's 38. I love Jose. Jose can compete. Oh, of course he can compete. This isn't about that. He's 38 years old. Lost to Mario Bautista. Just was inactive again. Whether people want to say he won the fight or not, sure. There's an argument there. Mario put him against the cage. He didn't get off of it. Sorry. Next, we have Brandon Allen. This is fall as well. With all as much as I think Brandon Allen is overrated, I can't put him past fall because it's. I think he's good on the ground. I do not think he's good on the feet. I think his chin's very suspect. I can't put him on the way up because he's on a loss, obviously, now, and I don't think he necessarily is going to be on the way up. He's still young enough. I believe he's 28, 27, or 28. 2024, he fell. Next, we have Arnold Allen. Lost to Mavzar, beat Giga Chikadze. Interesting one, but I got to put him in fall. I do not think he's on his way up. I'm sorry. I've never been a crazy supporter of Arnold Allen. His chin, again, is very, very suspect. Never been a big believer in Arnold Allen. Next, you have Jailton Almeida. This is a tough one. I believe he lost to Curtis Blades earlier this year. Beat Alexander Romanov. I don't think he's fought again. He's fighting Sergey Spivak early 2025. I think he is on his way up. I don't think Jailton Almeida is good In striking, I don't think his striking is good at all. His grappling, though, is very good. And we're going to see a good class of that when he fights Sergey Spivak. Jessica Andrade, she needs to retire. You know what? She's 33. She'll be 34. She beat Mackenzie Dern this last year. I believe, I guess that was a year ago now. She lost to Yan Xiaonan. I believe she lost to her. The thing with Jessica Andrade is, again, she's 33. She'll be 34. She's already been champion. I believe she's born in 91. I believe so. I can't put her in that. I'm going to put her in fall. I can't put her in retire. Magomed Ankalaev, I believe he's on his way up. I think he's there, but his style is crazy, like boring. He hasn't beat anybody. He barely beat Rakic, who's god awful. Johnny Walker is nothing to celebrate at this point in your career. He just hasn't done what he needs to do to fight Alex Pereira, who is the top dog besides John Jones right now, and Islam Makhachev. John Jones is number one, though. Sorry. My cat. Next is Kai Asakura. I'm gonna put him in fall. Is hyped up as he was coming into the UFC. My cat's messing around with boxes. Hey. No. Yeah, as overhyped as he was coming into the UFC, or as hyped as he was, Kai Asakura didn't live at all to what we were promised. I thought his counters would be better. I thought his power would be better. I thought his accuracy would be better. He had good moments, but Pantoja was easily able to get him where he was very good at. Hold on, this damn cat. We're not tearing up the box. Come on, you little poop. Let's go. Come on, get your butt out there. Crazy. Buying up the box of paint. Unbelievable. Should I edit that out? Nah, I'm going to keep that in there. But yeah, Kai Asakura, fall. Tom Aspinall, on his way up. I'm sorry, I can't put him in Rise. He hasn't beaten anybody. I understand, yeah, he has interim title. The interim title thing is fucking bogus. Tony Ferguson lost his interim title because he tripped over some fucking wires working for the UFC, and they took his interim title away. You haven't fought anybody. You haven't fought Jalton Ahmed. You haven't fought Rosenstruck. Whether we think he can beat these guys or not, fine. You haven't beaten them. Just because you're interim champion, John Jones is the greatest fighter of all time. I understand he should get the chance to fight John, but we're going to get it in 2025 anyways. So all you Tom Aspinall supporters out there are going to get proven wrong. Anyways, sorry for the rant. Next we have Macy Barber. Rise. Macy Barber is a dog. Next we have Jan Blachowicz. Retire. Absolutely retire. Actually, I got to put Jose in front of Izzy because I think he had a better showing than Izzy. I think a different opponent also. Izzy had moments. I don't know. Yeah, I think Jose's in front though. Erin Blanchfield on her way up. She lost to Manon Farad, otherwise she'd be going in Rise. But she got back on the winning track against Rose Namajunas, which has her really kind of waiting for that Manon fight. I mean, I don't think she's going to jump Manon for a title shot. I think it's going to be Manon Farad versus Valentina Shevchenko. But I think she's definitely on her way up on that one. Curtis Blades, absolutely crash. I mean, Curtis Blades is so bad. Every time we see as soon as people see a glimpse of, oh, he might be good, they're like, oh my God, this guy could really do something special. And it's like, how many times is everybody going to get fooled? It continuously happens. Loses twice against Francis. He builds his way back. Loses against Tom Aspinall or Pavlich, and then he loses against Tom Aspinall. Knocks out Kyle Dawkins, and everybody's like, "Oh, he's a crazy striker now. He has big power." No, Chris Dawkins is just trash. That's all that is. I could knock him out. Kai Borrello, absolutely rise. Even though I do think Jared Cannonier did better than people give him credit for with Kai Borrello, he definitely exposed, I think, some distant management from Kai in the striking, some places where you're able to hit Kai Borrello. I do think Kai Borrello is absolutely a riser in 2024. Next is Sean Brady. I think Sean Brady is on the rise. I'm gonna say on his way up. I don't think beating Gilbert Burns by decision like he did necessarily puts him in that rise position. I just don't think that shows me, oh, this guy absolutely can become champion. I just think, okay, that's a good one. We need to see a couple more, see what he can do. That type of deal. Joaquin Buckley, rise. I'm not a crazy fan of Joaquin Buckley. I'm not, oh, this guy's going to be champion. But I can't deny what he's done. That's the reality. I just cannot deny what he's done. He's been very good at middleweight. I believe middleweight. Yeah, he's been very good at middleweight. What can you say? What can you say? Even though I don't think beating Colby Covington, besides having his name on his resume, does a whole lot because it's Colby Covington, I think what Joaquin Buckley is doing right now is pretty special. Next, we have Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns, I do think he's performing better than Jan. Gilbert Burns needs to retire. That's the reality. Couldn't pull the trigger against Sean Brady. Looked really, really old in that matchup. Where as the fight progressed, it was going to get harder for him anyways just because of the matchup. Early was going to be his best chance, and he just couldn't pull the trigger. He talked about it. Next, we have Jared Cannonier fighting Gregory Rodriguez next year. Needs to retire. He had an incredible performance against Marvin Vettori, and even though the fight with Imavov was stopped too early, it's something that, he had been hurt against Marvin Vettori. Came back and beat the crap out of Vettori, but still was hurt. Got hurt against Imavov, and then gets almost finished. Should have been finished. I don't know how he survived it against Kai Borrello. It sucks seeing Jared Cannonier like that, but again, there's nothing for him to hold his head down on. He's been, the comeback story on that guy is unbelievable. He'll be 41 in 2025. I mean, what he's doing attrition-wise should be studied. Unbelievable. Nothing to hold his head down on. Fought Izzy. Didn't look god-awful. He's fighting a really, really good striker, a better technical striker. Whatever. Next, we have Henry Cejudo. Absolutely should retire. Henry Cejudo, gold medalist, a champion, of course, for the UFC. Nothing to hold his head down on. If he wants to fight, let him fight. Don't tell that man no. You should retire, for sure. And losing to Merab, even though the fight was better than people think it was Henry had moments, was able to hurt Merab. Yeah. Michael Chandler absolutely needs to retire. Let me make sure. Okay, we're good here. Oh, yeah. As we see here. Yeah, we're good. Okay. But yeah. Yeah. Next, we have Hamzat Chimaev. And Hamzat Chimaev he's definitely a riser. I'm not a crazy fan of Hamzat, but I didn't think he'd run through Rob like that. Got to give him credit where credit is due. Tracy Cortez, I don't think losing to Rose is a fall. I'd say she's on her way up. I don't think she's, like I said, a riser, but she didn't look terrible. She had, for short notice, she looked tough. She looked durable. I mean, I think she's on her way up. So, yeah. Paulo Costa, absolutely fall. Absolutely fall. Unbelievable what Paulo Costa is now after losing to Izzy. Unbelievable. Next, we have Colby Covington. Crash. Oh, wait. There's retire as well. Retire. For the love of God. Please retire. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Okay? Yeah. Next. Yeah. He's not good. He hasn't been good for a very long time. Next, we have Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz absolutely retire. 39 years old. He'll be 40 next year. I believe he wants to fight one more time. It might be, oh gosh, who is it? They were just talking about it. Henry Cejudo. I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about him fighting or having a rematch with somebody. That'd be interesting. Beneil Dariush. This one's tough. 2-fight losing streak. 2-fight knockout streak. This is a fall for me. I'm a big fan of Beneil Dariush. I think he can do a lot of good things if his age hasn't completely caught up with him. I still think he can do something good, but I gotta put him in fall with 2 knockout losses. I believe in the Oliveira one was second round. No, end of the first. I believe the end of the first, and then Arman knocked him out in the first round. Next, Jack Della Maddalena. Absolutely. My gosh, why in the world? Yeah, absolutely. On rise. Jack Della Maddalena. I can't wait for a fight announcement. I'm there day one. I can't wait for that one. Mackenzie Dern. I think she could be champion. I think she needs to obviously evolve her game, but I think that comes with experience. It comes with just continue fighting. We've seen some good performances. We've seen some god-awful performances. Yeah, I like Dern. I think she has more potential than Jessica Andrade just because Jessica's a little bit older than her. I believe she's older than her. Yeah, I think Mackenzie Dern on her way up. Next, we have Nick Diaz. I love Nick Diaz. People don't give him enough respect, but absolutely retire. Please. Dreysus du Plessis, absolutely. I'm going to put him in rise. I'll probably put him above Macy because he's champion. I think the world is the limit for Dreysus du Plessis. As long as he stays focused and stays true to the task, he'll be okay. And then, oh, man. Oh, this is, what's her face? Oh, Aldana. Not Aldana. This is, oh my goodness, Norma Dumont. That's who that is. Norma Dumont. On her way up. I don't necessarily know if she can be champion. I don't think she's well-rounded enough for that. But I think she just continues winning. I don't think she lost last year. Let's take a look. Is it gonna pop up with this? Yes, it is. Okay. Norma Dumont, 12-2, 5 wins in a row. So yeah, and she beat Aldana. Okay. And then Aldana lost by the cut in her last one as well. I guess not. Oh, she had a cut and she lost to Dumont by decision because they didn't stop it. Okay, that's what it was. Yeah, okay. Next, we have Merab Dvalishvili. I don't think Merab is going to be champion. I can't put him in rise. I don't think he's on the same spot as Dreysus. I'm sorry. 2024. Let's change something. 2020. There we go. 2024/2025 fall. Merab abso-fucking-lutely. There we go. Leon Edwards. I so don't understand the hype with Leon Edwards. Retire. Please. I mean, this guy's had one good moment in his career, and that's knocking out Kamaru Usman after getting dominated for 4 rounds. Congratulations. You landed a beautiful head kick. And then you cheated your way to win the 3rd fight. When I still think you lost, but whatever. That is what it is. Won a boring-ass decision. It's Colby Covington, who did nothing, by the way, in that matchup. So, yeah. Josh Emmett, because he has power and he's very durable, Even though he's 39, he'll be 40 years old. I think he has potential to fight a big name guy like Ilya, or right before that title shot, and possibly even get another title shot. I think it's going to be a 2025 fall, personally, for Josh Emmett. Next, we have Steve Erceg, and I'm going to say right now, Steve Erceg on his way up. I know he was just finished by Kai Kara-France. I think he lost what made him special, being well-rounded in that matchup, and I don't think he's going to let that happen again. He wasn't grappling as much as he needed to, wasn't flowing with his strikes like he did in his first matchup against The Undertaker, David Dvorak, which he looked awesome in that fight. But yeah, now Movsar Evloev, I think Movsar Evloev is on his way up. I don't think he looked very good against Aljamain Sterling, and I picked Movsar to win that, and I was more impressed with Aljo, I gotta be honest. Movsar had good moments, but I don't think he was active enough. I think he was getting out-wrestled in basic scrambles, so I do think he's on his way up. I do think he's skilled enough, at least on the ground, to make these fights competitive. Next, we have Tony Ferguson. Absolutely, Tony Ferguson should retire. He should not be fighting. This is very, very clear. I mean, come on. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Next is Deiveson Figueiredo. I know Deiveson is like 37 years old. He's still really, really good. I mean, it's crazy how good Deiveson Figueiredo is, and he's right there. I know he just lost to Petr Yan, but he is literally right there. Next, we have Manon Fiorot, and Manon Fiorot is on her way up. Yeah, Manon Fiorot is on her way up. I mean, she's right there to be fighting Valentina Shevchenko. Literally right there. Next, we have Rafael Fiziev. I think Fiziev is on his way up as well. Rafael Fiziev is incredible. I believe coming off an ACL tear or something like that. Some type of tear. Some type of CL tear. Yeah, Rafael Fiziev, the sky's the limit for him. It's just really putting everything together. I thought he'd be Justin Gaethje in a very close matchup. I have no argument for people who say that Justin Gaethje won. That's fine. I thought Rafael Fiziev won it. But I also thought Bobby Green beat Rafael Fiziev when they fought. So, yeah. And then Justin Gaethje, absolutely 2024, 2025 fall. I do not think he's going to continue performing at the level that he's going to need to perform. It's very possible his next fight will be his last. Very possible. Ciryl Gane. I think he's going to have a 2025 fall. I think it's pretty simple. I think he's going to have to really evolve to make a leap in this division. Luckily, he's in the heavyweight division, so, I mean, you know, a lot of fighters in that heavyweight division are slow, so it depends on what matchups he gets, but I think Ciryl Gane is going to fall in 2025. Cody Garbrandt needs to retire and get out of my face. Stop being so damn overhyped. Cody Garbrandt has been good since the Dominic Cruz fight. Thank you, TJ Dillashaw, for what you did to him. Next, we have Kelvin Gastelum. I love Kelvin Gastelum. I think he had all the potential in the world, and it was ruined by a weight class he had no business fighting in. Did he have great performances in him? Yes. The Israel Adesanya fight with Kelvin Gastelum is one of the best fights of all time. It's an incredible performance. And a truly underdog performance by Kelvin Gastelum. I did not want him to come back so soon, and we've seen the effects he had when he came back against Darren Till. Didn't want to throw, didn't want to get hit. Lackluster ever since then. That's the reality. So, yeah. Alexa Grasso, I think she's going to be on her way up. I know she's a former champion, but I've never been crazy high on Alexa Grasso. I was never sold on her. Never. Bobby Green, retire. 38 years old. He'll be 39 next year in September. I'm a big fan of Bobby Green. I just don't want to see him get hurt anymore. I don't want to see him get finished. I don't want to see him get knocked out. And because he is who he is, even though he's taking some time off, which I really like, It's still Father Time. I don't want to see him get beat up anymore. That fight with Jalen Turner really, really hurt my soul. So, yeah. Kayla Harrison, she's going to fight Juliana Pena at some point, and she is absolutely a riser and even going to be champion. There's literally negative percent chance that Juliana Pena beats her. Sorry. Anthony Hernandez, absolutely on his way up. He's looked really good. He beat the dog shit out of Michel Pereira. So, yeah, great performance. I am a little worried about his body, his midsection. He gets hurt a lot there, but yeah. And then Jamal Hill, I think he's on his way up. He's really turned me off for how he's acted after this Alex Pereira fight. But I think the guy that he's fighting, Yuri Prohaska, I just think he's hittable. He's a little too hittable. I think his Jamal's power, his speed, his awkward striking style is really going to give Yuri some problems. Yeah, whatever you think of Jamal Hill, I agree probably. But as a fighter, and he's fighting the guy that he's fighting, and that matchup wise, I like Jamal Hill. And I think he's gonna be on his way up because if he beats Yuri, he's gonna fight Alex Pereira. Kevin Holland, on his way up. I am not on the train that is giving up on Kevin Holland. He's only 32 years old. He's just now in his prime. He will be 33, but he's right in that window. And if he just turns it, if he's able to flip that switch at some point soon within the next year or so, he can really make a run at that title. Next, we have Max Holloway. Whether Max Holloway is only 33 or however old he is, retire. He has nothing left to prove. He has nothing left to do. He has nothing left to accomplish. Will I be there day one to watch him fight? Yeah, absolutely. Incredible. A Hall of Famer, no question about it. One of the best of all time. There's nothing more to do. There's nothing more to see. There's nothing more to accomplish. What are you going to do? Nothing. Holly Holm, retire. She's looked bad for a very, very long time, and not enough people talk about her needing to retire. Not enough people talk about it. I don't understand it. Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker hasn't looked this good in a long time, and he looks better now. More consistency, finding ways to make sure he takes these wins, makes it more, I guess, easier to judge. He's putting stamps on rounds. I like Dan Hooker. I don't necessarily know. Oh, I put him on fall on accident. I mean on his way up. I don't mean fall. Narsadine Imavov, absolutely on his way up. Fighting Israel Adesanya, which I put in retire. On his way up, absolutely on his way up. Thankfully, he was able to beat Brandon Allen. Shocker there. I picked him. Not surprising, obviously. But yeah, Narsadine Imavov, his biggest asset is his movement. If he can get that cardio under check, that movement's going to be nasty. Next, we got Johnny Bones. We already know Johnny Bones. Retire. There's nothing more for John to do. I do want to see him fight Tom Aspinall, and then he will retire. John Jones is the greatest sports athlete of all time. Sorry. Come at me in the comments. Next, we have Manel Kape. He is fighting Brandon Royval, I believe, in March. He is absolutely on his way up. Manel Kape is a monster. I think he's going to finish Brandon Royval. I think Royval will have moments, but I think Manel Kape absolutely is on his way up. Next, we have Kai Kara France, and he, once again, is on his way up. If we never get a fight of Manel Kape and Kai Kara France, the UFC should be ashamed. That fight is just easy hype money. Easy. Next, we have Derek Lewis, and Derek Lewis absolutely retired. He'll be 40 years old next year, I think in February, sometime like that. But yeah, Derek Lewis, he's 39, he'll be 40 years old. Knockout king, of course, obviously. Love Derek Lewis. Everybody knows the saying. All that I get, sure. I mean, I'd love to see Derek Lewis win a title. I don't think it's going to happen, clearly, just because of his style. That's it. Diego Lopez. Diego Lopez is on his way to rise. He's on rise. it's possible he fights Topuria in his next one. It's possible he fights Volk to fight Topuria. Either way, he is on his way to that title. Next, we have Ian Gary, and Ian Gary is on his way up. I'll give the guy credit where credit's due. His mindset is unbelievable. He sticks to a game plan better than almost as good as anybody. I like the guy. I don't think he's as active as enough. I think his striking is actually declined, but his grappling is at a place to where he can fill the time and the control time in the cage to kind of make up for that type of stuff. It's kind of negating his striking, but it's also winning these big fights. Even though I thought Shavkat that fight wasn't that close, really. Ian Gary still on his way up. Shara Magomedov, I believe it is. It's Sharabulip. I can't remember. I think it's Magomedov. On his way up. Great, fun striker. Really, really good. I think Michael Venom Page is going to light his ass up, though. Got to be honest. Islam Makhachev absolutely is in rise. He's a champion for a reason. He's very, very good. He is better than Khabib. Come at me. Molly McCann, retire. We don't need no more Molly McCann. You're not good. Sorry. Conor McGregor, Bryce Mitchell, I'd love to put him in retire because he's absolutely awful to listen to. I'm going to put him in crash because he's so goddamn cringe. He's so terrible. As a fighter, as a grappler, decent. I know he knocked out Kron Gracie. I don't care. Kron Gracie was holding on to him like he was a baby. So, yeah. Marcano had a very, very good 2024 fighting Beneil Dariush. I love Beneil Dariush. I love Benny. But Renato Marcano is on his way. Oh, that's fall. My bad. He's on his way up. Actually, Beneil Dariush, I'm going to put him retire. He's 35. He'll be 36 next year. If he doesn't win this next fight, he definitely could retire. I don't see him at 36 years old putting that title run together to, and even if he does win the title, if he ever could win that title, he's 36. I mean, come on. Michael Morales, absolutely on his way up. Absolutely. Special talent. There are some things, of course, we don't know. He's not necessarily the most proven guy yet, obviously, but Michael Morales is awesome. And I do think he's on his way up. Brandon Moreno, fun fighter, 31 years old. I would say he's on his way up because he beat Amir Abazi. It's very possible he gets another shot against Pantoja at some point. He's still young enough to where he could become champion again, obviously. Bilal Muhammad. Ugh, this one's tough. I'm going to say rise for Bilal. I don't think he's anything crazy special. I think his mindset's unbelievable. I'm not crazy sold on him. And I do think Shavkat Rakhmonov beats him. Rose Namajunas, I mean, that's crash 2024. I mean, I think she was 1-2 in her last 3 fights, if I'm correct. Lost to Manon, lost to Aaron, beat Tracy Cortez. I don't think I'm missing anyone there. So 1-2 in her last 3 fights. She hasn't looked very good. Looked really good early against Aaron Blanchfield and looked terrible in the later rounds in that fight. So, yeah. Bo Nickel, absolutely fall. I mean, he didn't do shit against Paul Craig. And Paul Craig is trash can level. I mean, come on. Umar Nurmagomedov, obviously he is in rise. Umar is going to be champion when he fights Marab in 2025. Absolutely rise for Umar. He dominated Corey Sandhagen. Corey did show that you can box with Umar a little bit. There's some openings there. But I like Umar a lot in 2024. Next we have Charles Oliveira. And Charles Oliveira, I'm actually going to put in retire. 35, he'll be 36 years old. Like I said, nothing left to prove. 2025, he probably retires. Sean O'Malley. I mean, lost to Marab. Congratulations. His hip was all jacked up. I believe he had to get surgery on it. I like Sean O'Malley. I haven't for a very, very long time. I always thought he was a little overrated, but I don't know. Something draws me to him. Something makes me want to root for the guy. And I think he can get his title back. Brian Ortega. Crash. I know he got a victory over Yair Rodriguez. Cool. He looked awful against Lopez. Awful. So, not good. I know he's moving up a weight class, which is good probably, but until I see a different version of Brian Ortega, he's in 2024. Crash. It's crazy too because Brian Ortega was such a prospect. Like when he beat Tavares, he looked awesome in that fight. That fight was so fun. That was a Superman punch. And then, unbelievable fight. So crazy. Michael Venom Page, even though he's 37 years old, I still think he's on his way up. Certain matchups are going to be great for Michael Venom Page, even at his age, because he's such a good dynamic striker. And if the right matchups comes up in his weight class, he could make a splash and he could shock people. Next, we have Alexander Pantoja, absolutely in rise. He is awesome, destroying Kai Asakura, even though I thought Asakura could give him a hard time. Sure didn't. Congratulations on that one. Pavlich, I'm going to put Pavlich down here in retirement. He is overrated. Next, we have Juliana Pena. I'm going to say here, actually. I'm going to put them both there. Juliana Pena and Rocky Pennington, awful fight. Pavlich, terrible, overrated, bum. Next we have Rocky, crash. Alex Pereira, absolutely is in 2024 rise. This man is the man. I'm actually going to put him above Drysis because I think he beats Drysis. Come at me, comments. Next we have Paddy Pimblett. I'm going to put Paddy Pimblett in on the way up. Absolutely, Paddy Pimblett. Dustin Poirier, retirement. I don't think Poirier has much left. I think he only has one fight left to do. Not much else to say. Great career, Hall of Famer, but he's going to retire. Carlos Praetus on his way up. Carlos Praetus he's incredible. I'm trying to think of the word. I'm not say he's a specialist. That's the word. He's a specialist. And I thought Neil got close too fast to him. I thought he was able to close the distance a lot quicker than I thought Praetus would allow him. Takedown defense looked great. Comes out later that he has a broken foot. I was like, okay, that's why. And that's why he's being patient. And he still dominated him. Special talent. Yuri Prohaska, I still think he's on his way up simply because of the fact that if he gets a couple wins somehow, even if it's against nobodies, people are going to be asking for him to fight Alex Pereira for third time. Next, you have Shavkat Rakhmonov. Absolutely rise. Shavkat Rakhmonov beating Ian Gary. I thought he dominated a lot of the fight. Ian had moments for sure, but the big moments were from Shavkat. People acted like, oh, he has his back and his hand is right on his chin. He's almost finished. Like, no, he doesn't even look like he's panicking. Just because something looks close doesn't mean he almost has it. There is a difference. Next, we got Dominic Reyes. Dominic Reyes, he's not in fall, but he's at the back end of on his way up because he's 35. He'll be 36 next year. Dominic Reyes has won 2 fights in a row against Anthony Bum Smith, and then he beat Dustin Jacoby. Beautiful comeback victory in that matchup. I just don't think at his age he's going to really make a run and win that belt. Yeah, Dominic Reyes on his way up. Tabitha Ritchie lost her last fight. I can't remember who it was. Oh, Yan Xiaonan? That might be who it was. But Tabitha Ritchie, she's on her way up for sure. Yair Rodriguez, I'm going to put him in fall. I've never been crazy hyped about Yair. I don't really care about his crazy kicks. It doesn't do anything for me because he's so one-dimensional. Yeah, he submitted Josh Emmett. Congratulations. We've never seen anything else but that. So, yeah. Raul Rosas, I think he's on his way up. Great wrestler. Incredibly young. I think Raul is going to be something special. Next, we got Khalil Roundtree, 34 to be 35 years old. Could be on his way up simply because if he knocks out one more guy, like if he knocked out, the winner of Walker and Buskov, he's fighting for a title again. If he fights Magomed and Ankalaev and he finishes them, he's fighting for a title again. Khalil Roundtree is that animal. Brandon Royval, I think he's on his way up. I think Manel Kape beats him, probably finishes him if I had to guess, but beats him for sure. I just don't think Royval with his style is going to work out against a guy like Manel Kape ever. Next, we have Jairzinho Rozenstruik. He's absolutely on his way up. Great striking, weird chin, weird cardio, weird stance, but it's heavyweight. He hits hard. He has good angles. He's very long. He's patient. There's a possibility where we could have a title fight at some point with Jairzinho. Benoit Saint Denis, absolutely fall, losing against Dustin Poirier and then losing against Renato Moicano, who I don't think is very good at all. Benoit Saint Denis, it's a tough one. That's a tough one. Not good. Corey Sandhagen, crash. Valentina Shevchenko, I mean, she's champion. I mean, what more can you say? Beating Grasso, big win over there, dominated the whole 5 rounds. Shevchenko looked really good. Clearly won the second matchup as well. Song Yadong on his way up. I don't think there needs to be much more said. I think he's on his way up. He needs to, well-round his skills or work on his. He needs to become more well-rounded. And not just be such a boxer or panic wrestle. That's not helping him at all. But yeah, I think Song Yadong is absolutely on his way up. Next, we have Aljamain Sterling. And Aljo, he's going to retire in 2025. That's the reality. Aljo had a great performance against Movsar Evloev. And if they didn't give him the decision, there's not much more for him to prove. He's not really in that title picture right then. If he would have won that, he's automatically back in that title picture. I thought he looked incredible, to be honest. Next, we have Sean Strickland. He's actually fighting for a title within the next, I think January 18th, I believe. Or no, he's fighting Drysis at some point. So, rise up. I don't think the fight changes. The result changes at all, though. Asakura. Jesus, Taira. Taira something. I can't remember, but absolutely on his way up. Lost against Brandon Royval, sure. First crazy big opponent, but I like Tira a lot. And now Wonderboy Thompson absolutely is to retire. He'll be 41 in November. Great career, fought for a title a few times, came up short. Great performances, probably retires. Ilya Topuria knocking off 2 former champions, even though one of them was severely concussed basically coming into that fight. Doesn't take away what he did and how he was able to do it. Topuria absolutely in risers. So, yeah. Arman Sayukian, I would have to say he's an up-and-comer. He's fighting for the title here very, very, very soon. So, absolutely putting him, Arman Sayukian, on his way up. Absolutely. Next, we have Tai Tuivasa. He's absolutely going to retire. Can I keep saying absolutely? Probably not. Or absolutely not. Yeah, Tai Tuivasa, retire. Carlos Oberg on his way up. I wasn't crazy sold on his last matchup, for sure. But he keeps winning. Good striking. I think a matchup between him and Alex Pereira could be actually unbelievable. But, yeah. Kamaru Usman, absolutely retire. His knees are shot. 37 years old, will be 38 next year. Kamaru Usman, I do think he has a couple more in him. But I don't want to watch him get beat up. That's the reality. Chito Vera, fall. Didn't look good in the Sean O'Malley fight. Looked awful in the Figueiredo fight. Yeah, sure, there's a champion tier performers in those 2 fighters, but Chito Vera has not looked good in a minute. Marvin Vettori, same thing. Absolutely fall. Was supposed to fight Brandon Allen. I think he slaps the floor with Brandon Allen in that matchup. But, yeah. Marvin Vettori, absolutely fall in that category. Volkanovski, retire. Absolutely retire. Retire, please. He is getting a shot against Topuria, so, I mean, this probably won't age very well if he beats Topuria. So, Volkov on his way up. Unbelievable career resurgence from Volkov. Unbelievable. And people call me crazy for thinking he's good now. Wild. Johnny Walker, absolutely retire. His chin should be studied for what people should not have, what they can do better. Awful chin. Just awful. He was so overhyped as it was anyways. As soon as you get victories, people are like, oh my God, this is the next guy that challenges the champion. No. Chris Weidman, retire. He made Eric Anders look fast. That's how slow Chris Weidman is. Robert Whitaker. I'm going to say fall. 2024, 2025 fall. You know what? He's 34 years old, be 35. I'm going to say retirement for Robert Whitaker. I don't think he's going to win another fight. Sorry. Petr Yan, absolutely on his way up. Absolutely. Next is Yan Xiaonan. And I think, once again, on her way up. I think Petr Yan is trending to the way of fighting, having Umar rematch or a Merab rematch or fighting Umar for that title. So, good for him for finding a way to win. And then Yan Xiaonan just fought for a title. She's definitely on her way up in a shallow women's division. Yeah. And then champion for the women's division, Zhang Weili, absolutely monster. I do think she loses to Tatiana Suarez. I definitely think she loses. But she's champion, and she's a damn good champion. So, as always, guys, let me know what you guys are thinking. Let me know if you guys agree. If you guys disagree, again, let me know. And as always, guys, stay true, stay safe, get this fucking thing, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Peace.